Hello and welcome to our second episode on CXO Unfiltered. The healthcare sector is rapidly advancing and leveraging technology, offering groundbreaking changes in the diagnosis, treatment, and management of medical conditions. From artificial intelligence to wearable health trackers and 3D printing, innovations are reshaping healthcare for improved efficiency and personalization. In this episode, we will delve into the future of healthcare technology and its potential impact. Today, we have with us Veneeth Purushotaman, Group CIO, Aster DM Healthcare. Hi, Veneeth. Thanks for joining us.
Thank you. Thank you. Pleasure is all mine.
So, Veneeth, before we start, please tell us a little about yourself.
My name is Veneeth Purushotaman and I'm the Group CIO at Aster DM Healthcare. Been with Aster for the last 7 years now. And before that, overall healthcare, had another 4 years with Fortis. Before that, a long stint about 16 years and more in retail. So I still say there's still a lot of retail in my blood and slowly healthcare coming into my blood soon.
So, thanks for telling us a little about yourself, Veneeth. Moving on, tell us what are the key leadership values in your view for steering an organization through technology-driven transformation, especially in a complex and high-stakes sector as healthcare.
The most important one, I believe, which I keep reiterating in all such every opportunity that I get like this is uh, that there is no technology projects, there are only business projects. That's almost so important that that message is very clear as a leader, as a technology leader. When then that's true for any organization, complex, non-complex, big, small. To say that all projects, everything that you do is business projects and not technology. That brings in two factors. One, the the essence that the CIO and the leader and his team is thinking more business than getting stuck with just the technology. And the second aspect of this is when you tell the leadership and you tell the business teams that it is business project and not technology, it's also sending out a message that you are driving it in front and we are going to back you. That's one. The second is from a CXO perspective. And when I say CXO, I'm even in CIOs. There is CIO, there is CDOs, there is CTOs. There are various acronyms that define a tech leader. It doesn't matter whichever that X is. The moment you have a C against your designation, you are no more just that functional leader. That's true with the CHRO, that's true with the CFO, that's and everybody else. Almost everybody else get it, but somehow technology leaders still don't get it that you are a business leader and not just a tech guy. So the moment you enter the boardroom, it rings a bell only when you hear a issue, a downtime, a problem, a tech, then there is a problem. Yeah, there is the bell should ring irrespective of whether it is technology, business, numbers, top line, bottom line, costs, everything, and you are a key aspect.
Thanks for that, Vineet. And I think so well said that you have to start thinking like a business leader, and every project is a business project because at the end of the day, everything contributes to the top line, to the business objectives, and clearly, like you said, technology is the driving force between every business today. There's hardly anything that moves in business today without technology, and to that, healthcare is evolving, and especially with what we saw with the COVID era, I think there's a lot of realization in the kind of investments that are needed, in healthcare. So thanks for that, Vineet. Moving on. So Vineet, tell us, how do you ensure that technology initiatives and projects are always in sync with the organization's vision and broader objectives?
There are no technology projects; there are only business projects, and therefore anything that you do and all the investments that goes in terms of projects that are done with the business uh, will have a very clear ownership and have very clear direction. So, like I said, like the question that what you asked is from a vision statement. So at Aster, our vision is to ensure that quality healthcare is provided to across the globe wherever we are present, and make healthcare accessible at the same time affordable. Now, these two words in the vision statement, accessible and affordable, are so important and so crucial when it comes to technology deployments. Because without a technology deployment, without a proper technology transformation that helps you ensure that any of our patients from anywhere, any part of the globe, is able to access the services. That is about accessibility. And the moment you make technology, when you deploy technology like the telemedicines, the teleradiologies, various other things that you can do, which overall fall in the bracket of remote medicine, the affordability also becomes possible. So affordability in the sense the cost of healthcare goes down, because you are now accessing for anybody in any part of the India or any part of the globe. If they have to reach to a doctor, they don't have to travel the whole distance now. So affordability comes in. So yes, so therefore what you do is, typically whenever you come across such uh, deployments, large projects, and things that change the overall paradigm, uh, you then work with a large team. It's very important that you are a key player driving as a CXO and a team, but the chief sponsor of that particular project is a business guy. He's a functional guy. So if it is a finance, what do you call it, deployment towards the backend systems, then I would definitely want the CFO as a chief sponsor. If it is anything that impacts my front end, I would rather have the CEO as a chief sponsor, or a chief operating officer, based on who is the top guy. So in ensuring that the chief sponsor is your peer or is one of those leaders within the business, and you again, uh, I'm happy to play second fiddle. I'm happy to take the backstage, uh, as long as the projects are successful and driven well. So that's what goes in. So exactly to ensure the project success and to ensure that business involvement is right there, it's important that you do this upfront. It's always important to call out the outcomes of the project than than what you do as a journey.
Thanks for that, Vineet. And I must say, spoken like a true leader. Doesn't matter who takes the credit, as long as the business objectives are met, and you as a leader support the business leaders to derive maximum value out of what is to be delivered. I think that's what matters, and I think it's pretty impressive to understand that at Aster the vision is around affordability and accessibility, which is pretty much the need of the hour and true essence of healthcare as well, for that matter. But thanks for that, Vineet. Moving on. So, Vineet, innovation is key, and we all understand that now digital innovation is transforming healthcare in several meaningful ways. And it promises to change how care is delivered and managed across the entire healthcare ecosystem. So, we'd like to understand, Vineet, from you, what has been your strategy to adopt emerging technologies like Gen AI to optimize health outcomes across populations?
There are several emerging technologies. So like as the word suggests, emerging technologies. What happens with emerging technologies is this: most of these are evolving and changing almost on a daily basis. There are changes happening on the fly. So what if you were to start deploying in one solution or one technology or one type of tool or technology, by the time you're by the time you decided, looked at the use cases, and worked with the business and reached a stage, there is a lot more that's happened in that space. Which is why any deployment obviously has to be agile. And most important for me, if I have to call out one thing about investing and exploring emerging technologies like Gen AI, would be to be very comfortable with the use cases. The most important bit is the use cases. There are many a time we make a mistake of deploying and trying out technology for the sake of it, and that sometimes lands us. That leads to a lot of failures, dissatisfactions, and then finally we sit and think whether I should have even take and spend so much time on it. But if you have the use cases sorted, again, like I've been I've been repeating like a broken record, that you would have had thought through this with your business force. For example, Gen AI has got a lot of opportunities, a lot of very practical use cases when it comes to healthcare. So in very simple words, if you look at it, if there is a clinician, or if there is a paramedic, or if there is any caregiver taking a decision on a patient, listening to what that person says about his problems and his inconvenience, most of the time it is he's spelling out what he's experiencing, and he's spelling out what in simple terms are symptoms. That symptoms then, based on the doctor's experience and what he has studied and what he has experienced, takes him to identify what the root cause is. Uh, and this is a lot in the brain, a lot in the individuals over a period that's learned. Now, if this is exactly very straightforward transfer into a set of data and it's a logic, the Gen AI perfectly fits in there. But and then imagine that Gen AI not coming and replacing the clinician. That's not where I think it is taking us, but moving in and being the assistant to the doctor.
So thanks for giving your views around the emerging technologies and especially Gen AI. Now, data has been, very critical, and every line of business or every industry requires it, for any kind of smart decision making. Tell us, how has the adoption of AI, and when I'm saying AI here, it's more of the purpose-built AI, and data analytics evolved in healthcare over the past few years, and how have these technologies, shifted from being experimental tools to becoming integral components of operational efficiency? So over to you, Veneeth.
We've been used to hearing that data is the new oil, data is gold, and whatnot. Like then the most important part that happens here is, the most important aspect here is, when it comes to data, in the case of healthcare, there's been a lot of data, but many a time for a long period until recently, data wasn't digital. Data was all manual. So, for example, if you go to a doctor, the doctor will write a prescription on a piece of paper. I've got the information which is typically that your Veneeth, your age is this, your phone number is this much, this, and your email is this. But every other information was then on piece of paper. Over a period, and again, this has been a big transformation that happened during the COVID days, where most of the technology adoption was accelerated, I must say. And now the patient data, every aspect of the health record is now digital. So the first phase in this industry has been to ensure that the data is digital, moving away from manual, which needed a lot of transformation, a lot of adoption of technologies. And in some cases, in some countries and some geographies, like in the UAE where we operate, this adoption was also driven by regulatory as well as intervention from the government. So therefore, there's now, when you say data is the new oil, data is, you've got a big data, you've got a whole lot of data. Now it makes a lot of practical sense, because right now the data is all there in one place, and data is accessible and data can be used digitally. Another aspect that change that's happened over the last few years, I noticed, it's become easy. It's become there are several solutions and tools and technologies out there that help you read data. You don't just need to have. It's not necessary that you have structured data. It's possible that you are able to read data in various forms. That also has helped, because whatever you do, whatever level of adoption you do, data will still be in various forms. So you will have to have tools that then and abilities to combine data. Once you have the data, then like I mentioned in the previous response to your question, was technology then comes in and is able to put logic and use the data so well. And if you are able to apply practical logics onto that data and come out with insights, reading that data, you can see some very interesting and very surprising and very insightful things coming up. So that, imagine if that kind of valuable information and insight is available to your doctor for him to treat you well. Why would you not use that kind of technology? Many of these insights are then again correlated with a lot of large databases. In healthcare, over a period, these databases have become so strong. There are standard data sets So when I look at a set of data, I can relate it to the standard data set, and then all the more come out with better insights. But all this comes together, and we're able to treat the patient well.
Thanks for that, Veneeth. And you're absolutely right. We've had data for years, and today we actually have the tools that can massage the data and give you, various, they can slice, dice, look at data in different forms, and then decide, where appropriately you can use it. Of course, today we've got data lakes, data warehouses, so structured, unstructured, and of course, with all the intelligent automation tools like AI, I think it's a lot about, how you utilize these and what's the adaptability. But thanks for that, Veneeth. And lastly, Vineet, tell us, where do you see the future of tech adoption in healthcare heading and the major opportunities for future investments?
All of these emerging technologies, all of these, like I said in the beginning, emerging technologies and all of these ideas and tools that we have are always changing and continuously changing, continuously evolving. One of the areas where I believe there's a lot of work happening and to really change the way healthcare is delivered is around genomics, where you already have a lot of diseases and a lot of chronic illness being addressed by gene mappings and gene therapies. So I believe that's one place where one of the areas where I see huge changes in the future. Yes, obviously you'll have a lot of changes coming with machine language working with Gen AI, and you'll have continuous changes happening in Gen AI. You're already seeing it, whether the various versions of Chat GPTs or OpenAIs that's available there. You are going to see a lot specific to healthcare. Now, so far, a lot has been where people are wary about using some of these in healthcare, and that's very valid and that's very normal, because what you don't have, unlike any other business or any other vertical, is you cannot have any false positives or false negatives when it comes to healthcare, because it's about life and death. It's about human lives, which is why it was natural for people to be wary. It's natural for people to keep trying. However, over a period, many of these technologies have now become a lot more mature, number one, a lot more predictable and mature. And I say the most important piece about all these technologies, the explainability. I know, is because if you are able to explain how things work, as long as it's not a black box, the adoption becomes easier. Many of these technologies were actually not explainable. People would say, "Oh, how is it that it's coming out with this?" And then you have to, over a period, that's become possible because of the Alexas of the world, the various things that now people have started using, people have understood, have used it in their normal life. And when I say them, okay, just like Alexa does this also looking at logics and looking at it becomes explainable. It becomes things. It's possible for people to believe in it and try it. That's where the real win is, when clinicians across the world and caregivers across the world start believing in and start working with startups and technology partners and people, the CIOs and the CXOs, to try out these technologies.
Thanks a lot for that, Veneeth. Of course, genomics, an area to look out for. And you're absolutely right. Culturally, adopting technology as we move forward, given the pace at what it's moving, is also something which leaders like you need to manage within organizations. That and you're right. You'll typically have people in your organization, other leaders, business leaders, clinicians who come from different backgrounds, culturally different, different times. So there may be differences of decades. For example, you mentioned somebody who's kind of passed out 3 decades back. It is a big cultural shift, and being able to seamlessly get them to integrate into technology use is not an easy task. But thanks a lot for joining us today, Veneeth. And it was so nice to hear all the valuable insights. And like I said earlier, not many are true leaders, but of course we have one here with us, and that's Veneeth. But thanks a lot once again, Veneeth, for joining us, and we wish you all the best and success. Thank you.